Hi everyone, welcome to my channel KL Low. Today's video is slightly different from what I usually post because today we're going to be working on one of my book characters together. When I started researching and outlining and planning my book a few months ago, one of the things I discovered was that I don't like spending big blocks of time working on my characters. I like to break it up into 10-15 minute chunks because I find that more manageable, and I was getting quite overwhelmed with how much information I thought I had to get all down at once whilst working on a single character at a time. So today I'm going to set a 10-minute timer and we'll work through as many of the character questions as we can get through in those 10 minutes. There are a couple of things I want to mention before we get started, and first is that I do all my planning, all my research in a PowerPoint presentation. If any of you do the same, I would love to know. So far, I've not come across anyone else that uses PowerPoint to do this. Please let me know in the comments. I would love to meet you. For today's video though, I'm doing everything in Google Docs, just so we don't have to skip between slides and move around. Everything is in one place. Second thing I want to mention is that I got these questions, I think from Margaret Atwood's masterclass. I've used these questions to develop all of the characters in my book, or at least any of the ones that need a backstory, my main characters, my main side characters. When I start working on a character, the first thing I do is think of an actress, actor, somebody in the spotlight that I can use as my inspiration. My character Mora is a priestess. I have a almost religious type of government, not quite. You'll have to read the book to find out more. And this is where Mora lives and works. And the actress I'm using for my inspiration is Priya Ferguson, who is in Stranger Things, so some of you might have seen her before. I will also do a quick Google search for costume ideas, and in this case I just Googled, I think probably fantasy priestess, and I've got some images down here. I really like the grey robes and the gold detailing, and this is very much what I had in mind. So when I found these images, great, I'm using them for my mood board. So we'll go ahead and put on a 10-minute timer and see how far we get. Timer is on. Like I said, I start with a first pass, just bullet pointing things that come to me off the top of my head. I'll go back and do a second pass after that, sometimes even a third pass, definitely for all of my main characters. And if things change as I'm writing my book, I go back and update my PowerPoint wiki. Let's start answering some. 5'1", 5 foot. I think she's 5 foot. She's 16. She's lived her whole life in the Dominion, and we'll get to all of these things. She's healthy. What is their general disposition? Are they frowny or are they smiley? Very smiley. It is really intimidating writing whilst filming this. Let's just call the Dominion TD, so I don't have to keep writing it out. Oh. Why isn't this working? Never really thought about what people have for their lunch in a fantasy world, except of course for all of the other characters I've done this for. I won't think too hard into it now, we'll come back to this. Ooh, I do think she could hate. always in Dominion robes, so I could go back to my mood board and describe exactly what that is. Something I'm still figuring out, purely because I've recently finished watching The Wheel of Time season 2, and they had grey and gold robes, so I might have to change that slightly. Don't want anyone to think I'm copying them. Do they dress in a way that's appropriate for their age, or do they dress to look younger or older than they are? It's probably definitely appropriate, but everybody in the Dominion wears the same thing. They do have something that marks the ranks, that differentiates them from the different ranks, but that is also a surprise and you have to read the book. What major experiences have they had in their lives? So she was left at the Dominion. There are two ways to get into the Dominion. One is either you're abandoned and left there as a baby, or two, your parents are crazy rich and they pay to have you stay at the Dominion. And that's what happened to Maura. Another major experience is that she is going to be befriending the head of the King's Guard, and that is all I will say for now. And now I'm thinking, how did that happen? How did they meet? How did they become friends? How did their relationship develop? These are things I could sit here and just stare at this screen for like 10-15 minutes, maybe longer, but I'm gonna carry on and I can go back to that in my second pass. Have they had any traumatic experiences? I think not. Did they have a bad childhood? No. She had everything she wanted. She had lots of friends. It's just a status thing that her parents could afford to send her to the Dominion. Or did they have a good childhood suddenly destroyed by a traumatic event? I'm going to say it was sad for her, less traumatic. She's super strong. She was a strong 9-year-old, and she made the most of her situation. What are their ruminations? I had to Google the word ruminations when I first started doing this, and it means what are their deep thoughts and feelings about something. So what deep thoughts does she have? Oh, 10 minutes already. So we will stop there because I need to think about these deep thoughts that she's thinking and come back to it. But that's generally how I work on my characters. I'll carry on doing this and then I'll go back and do a second pass. And I hope you found this interesting. If you want the questions, let me know. I can send those over to you. And if you have other techniques or methods that you use to create your characters, I would love to hear them. So please do drop them in the comments below. I will check those out for sure. Thank you so much for watching this video and for sharing my journey with me. If you found this interesting, helpful, if you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.